It's time for
the New York Yankees!
Welcome everybody to the first PTTK, PTTK, however we're going to call it. We're still going to figure things out. Welcome to the first show of the season. I'm super excited to be doing this. This is something that Derek and I have talked about for a long time. So we're finally getting started. I figured that this would be a good way to kick off the season, just as it's around the corner up in San Francisco against the Giants. About a 4 or 5 hour drive away from me down in LA. I've been to that ballpark if you haven't. It's beautiful. But if you guys didn't see before, I was just on with Derek. We talked about a lot of fun stuff. We're going to talk about couple things that we spoke about before, but just a little bit more detailed, maybe a little bit more in depth, and a couple other fun things that I wanted to discuss. But the first being the Judge legacy. The Judge legacy is one that I wrestle with. Something that I'm sad about in certain ways, because he's such a great player. Like, he's gonna be one of the greatest to ever put on the pinstripes. I mean, as a player. Great, and then there's a conversation to have about great player versus just greatness in general, in terms of you're a great player in the regular season or you're a great player in the great moments. So I can go wax poetic about the regular season, but look, he's catching a lot of heat about the World Baseball Classic. We know that. Didn't really show up in the biggest moment, but he's the captain of the team. He's the Yankee on the team. He's going to kind of get the brunt of it, right? Kyle Raleigh didn't do anything. Bryce Harper had a huge home run. Kyle Schwarber struck out. A bunch of guys didn't really come through. But what I mentioned on the show here, I'm looking at his stats in 2017, 188. All right, 188, 4 home runs. But he had a couple big ones, especially in the wild card game against the the Twins? I think it was against the Twins in that year. And then 2018, 421. 421, the guy hit 421. 265, 133, 250, 139, 184, and then last year 500. So a career 236 in the playoffs, which is really not great, but I mean, obviously that's a smaller sample size than what you're seeing in the regular season. So baseball's just a weird game in terms of stats. But right now, I said he's like Don Mattingly, and I understand that Don Mattingly never got to a World Series, and Aaron Judge has played in a World Series, but I say that in terms of they both don't have the rings jingling and jangling, right? They both are great. We're great players, both captains. Aaron Judge will never be regarded as a Derek Jeter type guy until he wins that ring. I mean, that's just a fact. It's just a fact in Yankee land. And you could go, oh, well, Ted Williams never won. Barry Bonds never won. It's true. Mike Trout never won. Probably never will win. It's sad to see. But that's just the way it goes. I think in baseball, it's just such a difficult sport to win by yourself. It's not like basketball. It's not like being a quarterback in the NFL. It's hard to carry your team in baseball. You're successful 3 out of 10 times, and you're a Hall of Famer. So with him, it's just and then another thing, the 3 MVPs, he probably could have 5. All right, 2017, he gets robbed. 2020 COVID happens. 2023 Dodger Stadium, the wall ruins his season, and he probably wins that year again, and then he wins in 22, 23, 24, 25. 4 in a row. Plus 17, 5. And now we're talking about one of the greatest to ever do it, undisputed. So that's all I really want to say. I think the narrative is just a little unfair sometimes, and that's really the bottom line, I think, about that. All right, let's move on to the bullpen here. The bullpen, I think, is something that usually the Yankees are quite good at constructing that and getting that going and being successful at it. It's one of the things that Brian Cashman and the front office actually do quite well. But I would say last season, it's safe to say that didn't go so well. Devin Williams blew a bunch of games, just wasn't great. This year for me, though, I really like what they did last deadline. They built a good bullpen, and I think seeing a full season of that is going to be showing the fruits of that. David Bednar, dude, impressed the hell out of me in the Baseball Classic. I mean, he really showed me something in high leverage situations. Really, really did. Came through, didn't let the moment get too big. That was huge, and I think that's going to be huge for the Yankees this year. He's got great stuff, throws hard, splitter's unbelievable. So for me, David Bednar and Camilo Doval. Those are the 2 guys. Those are the two X factors. They both look great in the World Baseball Classic, but if you're telling me that Camilo Doval can pitch like he did in the World Baseball Classic and have command of his pitches, and he's that 8th inning guy, and you go Doval 8th inning, Bednar 9th inning, or if one of the guys needs a rest or whatever, Doval can close out a game. He did it in San Francisco for a few years. That's going to be X factor stuff right there, man, because now you're shortening the game. You know, if you're playing a 7-inning game against everybody else, well, you know, that's a huge advantage to have over a team like we discussed, and I'll get to this in the next topic. Like Toronto, who's their closer? Who's closing out games for them? Who's their big bullpen arm? All right, they got Dylan Cease, they got Trey Savage, they got Kevin Gausman, who always gives the Yankees trouble. Good pitchers, good starters, but I can't really think of a guy coming out of the bullpen that really scares me all that much. You know, and then we're talking about their starting pitching is so deep. Right now it's hurt, so we're going to start the season hurt. But when you get into the season, when everybody's healthy, we're talking about Ryan Weathers, Will Warren, Luis Heel. Are they going to go into the long relief role? I mean, are they gonna go over to the bullpen? Or are they going to get sent down? Probably one of those three is going to be in the bullpen, I would assume. You're probably going, you know, Fried, Cole, Rodon. All right, that's the three solid starters right there, undisputedly. Schlittler. Okay, so there's 4. So now you got one more spot left for Weathers, Warren, and Heel. So two of those guys maybe can go into the bullpen. You know, I think Luis Heel, he's looked good in spring training, and obviously won Rookie of the Year as a starter, but his stuff really plays in the bullpen, man. I think he could be a weapon out of there, especially if you're going to give him 2 innings. Now all of a sudden we're going 8th and 9th inning, Doval Bednar, 6 and 7, Luis Heel. Now you're playing a 5-inning game, if you want to think about it that way. And then Fernando Cruz, what is that? Yeah, Cruz. I'm expecting him to be good. I think he's going to be good like he was last year. Stuff's great. I mean, it's just a command thing and health. Health is always going to be the big thing. And then my last thing about the bullpen is who's going to be the Joe Schmo from the street, the John Doe who just emerges. Sometimes they just pluck a guy out of there and he just becomes this unbelievable bullpen arm with unbelievable stuff, and you're like, who the hell is this guy watching the game? So that'll be interesting to see as well, but I'm expecting to have at least one guy like that. All right, this division, AL East. The AL East, man, oh my God, I think it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. You got, obviously, the Yankees. Yankees looking pretty good this year. You got Toronto, just off a World Series appearance against the Dodgers, and they reloaded pretty well. Again, Dylan Cease. It lost Bo Bichette, which is big, but, defensively, that's not really a loss, but offensively, yes. And I think Okamoto is going to be a good player for them, man. I do. I really thought Kyle Tucker was going to go there, but he went to the Dodgers, so don't have to worry about that. Baltimore, no chance that offense doesn't hit again like last season. There's just no chance. Pitching wise, okay, we'll kind of see what they look like in the midway through the season around Labor Day, maybe. What they do at the deadline. Pitching wise, I could see them trying to get a big ace kind of starter. Maybe if Skubal's available, I could totally see them in those waters trying to get a guy like that. But offensively, they can hit, and they will hit. So you got them. Tampa, I'm never going to count them out. Tampa's Tampa. They always figure it out. Junior Caminero is going to emerge as one of the best players in the league this year. He will be top 10 by the end of the league if he's not end of the season if he's not already. And I think in 2 to 3 years he'll be top 3. Lock. That guy's unbelievably talented. Again, talent going to always persevere there. And then health. You got to be healthy. Otherwise, none of this means anything. And then you got the Red Sox, Boston. The hated Red Sox, who have one of the best aces in baseball in Garrett Crochet. They signed Ranger Suarez, Oviedo, Sonny Gray. All right, so they have a very solid rotation. Bullpen-wise, it's kind of, again, there isn't really any. I mean, Aroldis Chapman, obviously, in the 9th inning, but other than Chapman, who is it really? Whitlock's a good player for them. So I guess Whitlock and Chapman would be their 2 big dogs. And then you got obviously the offense for them. Offense for them is gonna be good. Roman Anthony, I think, is really gonna be something, man. He is gonna be, he's gonna be such a pain in the ass. Like I think he's gonna be so annoying. He's gonna kill the Yankees. It's funny though, but I was saying that about Andrew Benintendi, and look how that worked out. So you never really know, but I think Roman Anthony is the real deal. You got to talk about Mayer as well for them. Christian Campbell, funny enough, they signed him long term. He'll probably figure it out. Trevor Story had a good season for them. Losing Bregman is interesting. I really thought he would come back. Chicago seems like a really odd fit. I don't think he's going to be good there. I think that he should have stayed in Boston. I'm happy that he's gone. But yeah, Roman Anthony is going to be a big problem. Big problem. And then Ceden Rafaela, Weiler Abreu, Jaron Duran. I mean, they got some guys. And I think they're going to be an absolute pain in the ass. Massive. And it wouldn't shock me at all if you get to the wild card series or you get to the division series or even the ALCS, and lo and behold, there's Boston waiting for you. So, all right. Last topic that I really want to cover, and we'll kind of keep it brief tonight, and I hope you guys bear with me. It's obviously my first show, all the technicality stuff, it's a lot. I'm hoping that it's looking okay for you guys and that my microphone is working. Shout out to you, Derek. Appreciate all of you watching live at the moment as well. But my thing is, with the way too early trade block, you got to think about it this way. Obviously, it's going to depend where teams are at in the race, where they are in the division, how all of that's going, whether they're in or out. I could see a scenario where Jazz Chisholm gets traded. I could see a scenario where that happens. I don't want that. I love Jazz Chisholm. I think he's a great piece to this team. I was one of the first people that was like they should get Jazz Chisholm, and it ended up working out. The only reason I say that is because he is in a contract year right now. We've already seen the number that he's kind of thrown out there. He's probably going to be a $30 million player. And when you think about it, are the Yankees gonna extend him? They got George Lombard waiting down in the system. Dax Kilby, who's really young, looks like he's rising through the ranks pretty quickly. And then there's another guy who I would trade for and who's also going to be a free agent, who I think I'd rather sign, not because I don't like Jazz Chisholm, but because he's, I think, a better fit for the club right now. Nico Horner. Nico Horner's in a contract year. Could you see a Chisholm-Horner swap kind of thing? Maybe. I guess maybe. I don't know why the Cubs would do that, but for me, it's I gotta think Nico Horner would be the big guy that I would want in the winter. You know, right-handed bat, which the Yankees do need, plays good defense, and hits for contact, which is a lot of things that the Yankees need. They don't really have a true leadoff hitter. I mean, Trent Grisham, $22 million. That was, for me, not the move. All right, I was talking to Rich Eisen about this the other day. Yes, name drop. I was talking to Rich Eisen about this the other day, and he was telling me, he's like, Trent Grisham's not a leadoff hitter, and he's right. He's not a leadoff hitter. I mean, you know, $22 million he's going to be public enemy number one, and you just know that the Yankees are going to do this stuff where they got a bit of a stubbornness to them where and I don't blame them, because baseball is one of those things where you need a large sample size to really get a feel for what a player is and how things are going to work out. But at the same time, if it's not happening, it's not happening. I think the entire fan base knew it wasn't happening with Aaron Hicks. All right, the entire fan base knew that, but there you go. The entire fan base knew that it wasn't happening with Joey Gallo. Then look how long it took them. So For me, I'm not saying that they should trade Jazz. I'm just saying that it's worth discussing if you don't think you're going to sign him for the long term, and depending on where you are at in the season. But if you don't think you're going to sign him long term and you can get yourself Nico Horner and maybe in a separate deal, I would do that. I would do that because I'd rather Nico long term. I would keep Jazz long term if he would be willing to play third for the rest of the time. Just because I think Nico at second is probably better. He's a better defender up the middle than Jazz is. Jazz is hella athletic. Maybe he wants to go back to the outfield. But for me, I'd probably rather get Nico and get Jazz out for assets and keep Nico long term. That's just me, because I think it's a better fit for the team. Other than that, the one other name I want to bring up, is Bryce Harper going to get traded? Is that going to happen? I don't know. Seems like him and Dombrowski over in Philly aren't getting along. and I know that he's done that in the past in order to kind of motivate guys. I don't know, man. There's something sketch, something sus about that. I'm not sure why there seems to be like a marriage, like a divorce incoming in the marriage there. He signed an extension. He's making from 2020, so this season to 2028, making 27 and a half, and then 29 through 31, 23 and a half average. And he's a free agent in 2032. That's an absolute bargain for Bryce Harper today. I know he's on the wrong side of 30. He's getting older and he's getting to the twilight years of his career, but he's still a good player. He had an absolute monster home run in the World Baseball Classic. He bailed the United States out. They could have went out with like a fart in the wind, and he just bailed them out, man. Bryce Harper, to me, was like the absolute quintessential perfect Yankee, and it just didn't happen, and it should have happened, and I will never forgive Brian Cashman for not at least calling the man. You didn't even call the man. What are you doing? They had a meeting with Manny Machado. I remember Manny Machado's face on the Jumbotron in Yankee Stadium when he had the meeting with them, and Bryce Harper, not even a phone call. You got to be kidding. And now it's been revealed to us that Aaron Judge and Bryce Harper are apparently good friends. They seem to like each other a lot. Bryce Harper was like raving about the guy while they were teammates and about saying how great it is to play with him. I don't really think it's a fit. Just because you have Stanton, like let's say Stanton was a free agent and he wasn't on the team anymore, or this was his walk year, then I think you're having a bit more of a conversation. And then like, what are you doing with Ben Rice? I guess Ben Rice would go to catching, but I don't want that, man. Like I mean, Ben Rice should just stick at first. I think that for me, the offensive potential is too important for it to be handcuffed by playing catcher. Not that you can't be a good offensive player as a catcher. Kyle Raleigh just hit 60 home runs, but I'm talking like that's a position that really beats you up. So I'd rather him just get the rest at first and just have his bat in the lineup. But with the Harper thing, that would be like a funny fit, but he is Bryce Harper. So it was just an absolute mistake. And I love Frankie, a fart in the wind, the story of the 2026 USA baseball team. I mean, they made the finals, Frankie. They just didn't come through. Just didn't happen. And then he had Venezuela winning. I really thought Japan was going to win the whole thing, man. Venezuela? I mean, good team. They got some good players, but I don't know. That's a weird thing. You guys let me know in the comments if you think that this is going to turn into like an Olympic situation. Obviously, the Olympics are summer 2028 in LA, so the infrastructure exists. Dodger Stadium, Angel Stadium, they could play it here. They don't need to build a stadium or anything. Are they going to try to like manufacture that in the new CBA? That instead of an all-star break, it's an Olympic break, and all the guys go to the Olympic teams and participate in that? I mean, I could see that happening, but I almost feel like there's no need for the World Baseball Classic if you're going to have it in the Olympics. I guess it's like hockey, and they're doing like the Four Nations and the Olympics. I'm not really sure how that's going to work out, but I think that's all I got for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in for the first show. I'm thinking that when the season kind of gets going in 5 days, we're going to try to be getting live on the air either after Derek's show or without, probably after every series or so. I think that's a pretty nice rate and kind of encapsulate the whole series and just get a temperature on where the team is at and kind of get a temperature on where you guys are at, the fans, and kind of what you want to see from them. Kind of, I want to hear your opinions on things. This is a community. We're building a community. So, Mary Beth, you don't care about the Olympics? Bryce Harper cares about the Olympics. He said it's not the Olympics. So, I think it's really important for the fans. And I do think that if you get in the Olympics, it's really good eyeballs for the sport. It seems like baseball's in a really good place right now, like popularity-wise with Ohtani and with the Dodgers and Judge and with the Yankees. Like, you got the two biggest stars on the two biggest teams, and they're, East Coast, West Coast. Like, I think it's really good time for baseball right now. And the CBA, if there's a lockout, I mean, what are we doing here, man? You just absolutely kill the momentum that the sport has right now, and I am worried about that. I don't think we'll miss games. There's obviously going to be a lockout, but I don't think we'll miss games. But it's possible if the owners don't want to move off the salary cap thing, and I think that may impact moves that are made. I think the Dodgers obviously don't care, but you may see a quiet deadline this year, guys, just because I think GMs are just like, I don't know what the rules are going to be. I don't have all the cards in front of me. And if they don't have all the cards in front of them, like, how are they supposed to make moves? So, all right, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe on the channel. I appreciate the support. Throw your comments down there. Anything you guys want to see this season. I'm super excited for this season. This is going to be a great time. We're going to make this like a fun little thing after Derek's show, little side piece kind of thing. And I will see you guys next time, all right? See ya, and good night.